Well, Robby, I'm so happy to be here to sit down with you.
Awesome.
I think we've developed a friendship over the last year, and I love what you do. I love, just working out with you and training with you. You've taught me so much. As you know, Mr. World, Mr. Universe, all of these titles. Some say you had the best physique in bodybuilding history, the best biceps. And I want to tell you this, when we were working out last week and you were doing the curls, your arms, best arms in the gym. Best arms in the gym. Robby, why do you work out?
I love the mind-muscle connection thing, that you can really do this and the body can be created that way. And I started doing this when I was a kid. Imagination is powerful. And some people use it in a good way and some people use it in a negative way. And I prefer to use it in a positive way because it does work. It has a power in itself. So I've been focusing on that, probably when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And I think I developed this mindset to the point where I totally believe anything that I attempt to do, it's going to become a reality. It has to. If the effort is put there, if all the little parts and pieces that make it work, I think it's a done deal, really.
Tell me about training in the golden era. What was that like, and how is that different from it is today, from training today?
The golden era they say it was camaraderie, but we just was all bent on doing something that, nobody had ever accomplished, right? And I got this letter from Joe Weider asking me to come out to Los Angeles, train with the Weider board. After I got the letter from Weider, I've been winning a number of amateur competitions, AAU competitions, Mr. United States, this, that, Mr. Florida, Mr. United States, and those are basically amateur titles. I was winning all the titles, winning all the trophies. Sometime they'll place me 5th, 4th, 3rd. Very hesitant about giving me first and second.
Okay.
But then I won the Mr. United States competition.
Why? Why were they hesitant to give you first or second?
There was no blacks up there at that point. You had the guys like Arthur Harris, Leroy Colbert, Earl Manor, who was out of Barbados. You had all these guys, Martin Leonardo, who was like Hispanic. But there wasn't a lot of people up there that had a dominant physique that can go up there and compete. In their world, you shouldn't be up there. But I pushed the level, pedal to the metal, and I heard, all kind of this, that. I dealt with it, and coming in second and third and winning the competition, they just didn't want me to play. That's time and that's society.
Wow.
It just wasn't ready for me. But I just dominated. They couldn't stop me. Where I just kept going. I didn't really pay attention to all the racism and all the N-word, nigga. How did that nigga win this? How did that nigga win that? And I just dealt with it. I thought it was a challenge, really. It wasn't worth my time to get angry. I wanted to be positive. So if I can kick your booty, I win. That's how I saw it. I didn't go in there thinking that, anything negative. It was all positive. I said, well, if I place, that's a notch on my gun. If I win all the body parts and place third, that's still, you're letting me know I'm the baddest. That's how I felt about it, And that age, that young, that time period, I was driven by it.
Wow. You mentioned Joe Weider.
He's a visionary. He had this vision of what he wanted to do. When I first came there, it was just Muscle magazine. There was no Muscle Builder, Flex, Muscle and Fitness, men, women, fitness, none of that. It was just Muscle magazine. Or Muscle Builder. And my first cover, it was the best-selling cover magazine in the history of bodybuilding. In their world, the publishers of those kind of magazines say if you put a black on the cover, it doesn't sell. But for some unknown reason, mine sold. People could see that, wow, this guy is something special here. Come on now. Forget about this color thing here. The boy's cold-blooded. Joe Weider put me on my first cover. That's, the best-selling cover ever. I've done all the guys, Arnold's, all of them. And it created a lot of distinction, bad feelings between the people.
You're a living legend. But I feel like you didn't get the credit you deserved. And obviously there was a lot of racism involved.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, Joe Weider, he was a visionary, but there was also a story that I read about this bust where you're like this, and Joe Weider took your physique and put his head on it, and this is now the logo for Olympia. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, cool. The whole thing goes back to Arnold. Physique was supposed to be the one to use as the monument. He was Mr. Olympia 6 times, 7 times. So his going out, winning the 7th one, him and Joe Weider had agreed upon his physique being the prototype for the company. In other words, he couldn't put his head on Arnold's body. My body, he could. Nobody knew who I were. Even though all those covers, nobody's going to say anything because he's Joe Weider. When I went to do the covers, do the posing for the bus, the artist was there, and I was in great shape, getting ready to go actually for the Mr. International title. And you can see all the grooves and cuts that you see on the bus, right? He had the artist come in and do all of that, just the body, the physique. And when I saw it, it had my head on it with the Fu Manchu, the mustache, my face, my head, afro, everything. And then when it came to the unveiling in Woodland Hills, his head was on my body. And, there was nothing I could do. When I went to the lawyers about it, the lawyers at that point told me it should take me $50,000 to even take the case.
Wow.
From starting out. I would have to have that kind of money to even get someone to help me. No one wanted to touch it because he was Joe Weider. And, I dealt with it. I went to lawyers, had a lawyer look into it. The lawyer did the footwork, but he stole the money. He didn't do anything. He came to me and said, well, I didn't do enough footwork. Took the money, walked off. He's named Douglas Brown is now banned from becoming a lawyer, from stealing so much money from people.
My gosh, wow.
And that was, to me, was a huge letdown. And to find out that someone can do you like that and walk away, and they're supposed to be defending your rights and defending your ability to protect yourself.
I read an article on the way over here, and the article was titled "Dying to Compete," and it was about a female bodybuilder who died. I think I don't know if it was on stage or after the contest.
It's on stage.
Tell me about this, the steroid use today.
A lot of guys today, they're using too much of the anabolics. Back in those days, I was basically controlled by Joe Weider's doctor. I mean, you got it every 2 weeks. Decadorobin is the most powerful anabolic you can take. It builds muscle. It stays in your system for 2 years. That's how important. So you don't need to use a lot of it. Something like that can stay in your body for 2 years, and you're still building muscle even after you get off it.
Wow.
Come on now. Back off here. Let's, instead of 200 milligrams, let's try 75 every 3 or 4 days. Not in your hip and the fat around your tummy. That's what you do. But today they're shooting it direct into the muscle tissue. Your body has to break that down. It has to go through the liver. And the fat cells is leaked into the system a little bit slower. But today the guys think the more the better. And I think less is the better. Yeah. If you're going to take 400 milligrams that's 2 cc's of testosterone, you're not going to have a testosterone level. It's going to shut it down. The testosterone is going to shrink. You're not going to have that really wild desire, for the honey money. It's just not going to be there. It's not going to be there. So it levels off. See, and what the guys are doing is just overdoing it.
Overdoing
it. The ladies want to get better and better and harder and more muscular, and the liver going to stop. The heart's going to stop.
Do they not know about the health ramifications?
Of course they know.
They know,
but they're willing to take a chance to become a champion. It doesn't matter. I'll get through it. No, you're not going to get through it. I mean, if the liver go bad, you can pretty much forget it. Kidneys and the liver, it's the main digestive intake, flushing out organs. So something go wrong in those areas. And this bad boy, if something starts not feeling the back of your hand numb, or you get up coughing, or you take something and you get the coughing and can't stop it, you're just telling you that the heart has gotten problems. And a number of guys have died from, cardiac arrest, kidney failure, heart attacks. To me, it's not worth it. I love bodybuilding for myself. I enjoy it. For me, it's fun, to be able to develop and change the body, psychologically, mind-muscle connection, and feeling what you're doing. All that plays into that part. So I think it's awesome. I think, it's a beautiful sport, beautiful art. And it's gotten to the point where it's more of a drug culture. And nobody's going to talk to those kids because all those kids are spending money to keep the IFBB, NPC going. So I just kind of like observe it. When someone talk to me or come to me for a class, I drill them. It's all about health, your longevity, you know, what you eat, how much water you drink, your rest. And, you know, a lot of them think they're demigods. It's not going to happen. There's a bad ending to that story. You know.
Beautiful. All right, let's get out of this heat. Let's move over to the hydration. How you feel?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Good.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
get a little sweat.
Oh yeah, I'm sweating like a little